Guys, for this video, I would like to share how to check capacitor with multimeter. I have two types of multimeter. One multimeter here. One is analog multimeter, and the other one is a digital multimeter. So we have to keep in mind that every digital multimeter is not can test for capacitor value. So this is very important. That's one of my viewers is asked me that's how we can check capacitor. So this is what he asked me about this question. When you check capacitor, how to set a multimeter reader to read the capacitor? And can you show me how to set multimeter to check capacitor? And you turn that to where? And also to check the fuse, you turn that to where? And thanks for your help. So for this my viewer, I would like to share this is a very important that if you buy a digital multimeter, we have to be careful that your digital multimeter can be able to test capacitor. So every digital multimeter is not test for capacitor because capacitor meter is a different. So I buy this. I'm using this digital multimeter is Curious. This is the model number. So this is what the box that I am using digital multimeter, and the inside the description is very important. That so this model is can test for capacitor. So this is the capacitance. So the maximum range is up to 1000 microfarad. So my digital multimeter can test capacitor value, but this digital multimeter can test only up to 1000 microfarad. So below 1000 microfarad I can use to test. So no matter this is DC capacitor or AC capacitor, as long as the value is less than 1000 microfarad, I can use this digital multimeter to test the value. So I put analog multimeter on the side first. I'm going to explain for digital multimeter. So there is all the data sheet, the how you can set to resistor, the range, and the continuity, diode mode, capacitor, and AC, RMS, and frequency, duty, whatever. But I already explained one video how to use this kind of digital multimeter on my previous video. I will put a link on the description. So I'm going to show you how we can set this multimeter to test capacitor. Is first of all we have to turn it on. Of course, this is AC voltage and hertz. This is DC voltage. This is AC millivolt. This is DC millivolt. And here, this selection, there is diode testing mode. This is resistor testing mode. So the moment you turn on, this is resistor testing mode. So there is on directly will show. And if you selection one time, then will goes to diode testing mode. And if you select one more time, this is buzzer testing. I mean, this is for continuity. So just now in the video, he asked for how to check with the fuse. So if you want to test the fuse, is we must select to the buzzer, which is continuity. So let me make a quick test with the fuse. So I have here, this is my laptop charger. So every power cord that we have the fuse inside. You remove from behind here. And so if you want to remove also, it's okay. If you don't want to remove, you can directly test from here. So after you select into the buzzer mode, that you can see, you can hear connectivity. There is the sound. So which means from these 2 points is connecting. So the fuse must be from here to there must be connection. So a good condition of fuse must be connectivity, which means there will be sound. If you test the fuse something like this, and if no sound at all, which means open circuit, and the fuse is considered already blown. If you use digital multimeter, you have to select to buzzer mode. So a quick goes to analog. In case if you don't have digital multimeter, if you use analog multimeter, you can use as well with the buzzer. So buzzer, the sound as well. So a good fuse must have the sound. If you don't want to use the buzzer here, you can use for connectivity. So which is connectivity, continuity. So a good fuse must be continuity. So this fuse is in good condition. So that is how you test your fuse. Close back. This is my laptop charger. This is in good condition. So we go to test with capacitor. So to test the fuse is we have to select to the buzzer mode here. So how about the capacitor? Capacitor is one more round here. This is capacitor symbol. So we have to select to capacitor mode. So capacitor is we goes from NF, nanofarad, which means starting from nanofarad, 1 nanofarad to 1000 microfarad. From here, so this capacitor, the range will be from nanofarad to 1000 microfarad. Between this range, you will get the value. If you use this kind of multimeter, digital multimeter, you will not be able to check capacitor value because there is no capacitor range testing range for this kind of multimeter. So this is very important that you must make sure your multimeter must be able to test capacitor value. So this is just normal use. I can test resistance, DC voltage, AC voltage, DC current, and diode, and this is the amp. So this kind of multimeter we cannot test capacitor value. So we go back to capacitor testing. So I already select capacitor testing mode here. Then the automatic they will display for nanofarad. So I have here, this is 1000 microfarad, 1000 UF, which is my maximum testing range for this digital multimeter. So we go to, before you testing, you short like this first. You discharge first. Otherwise, multimeter can be damaged. We have to discharge. So negative is this side, negative to positive. So automatically they will read from here. If 0L means the reading capacitor is bad. So 909, which is 1000 microfarad. So I didn't get exactly 1000 microfarad because capacitor also have plus or minus 10%, 5% here, written at 5%. So either is 5% less or 5% more. So which they written here, plus or minus 5% range. So you will not get exactly a value. Anyway, this you have to clean it up. The pins here, this is a new capacitor. So this small one also, there is 220 UF 16 volt. So 220 UF 16 volt, I should get 220 UF. Automatically calculate. So 230, 229. So here they written here plus or minus 5%. Either it's more or either it's less. So this is good condition, 229 UF. Okay, and this is AC. So this is AC capacitor. So there is no positive or negative. So before you testing, you have to short two pins together first. Especially the old capacitor, you must short discharge. Otherwise, if there is a voltage capacitance inside, then the tester should be multimeter can be damaged. So that's why we have to discharge. So this is the old capacitor. So actually the value here is 1.5 UF. So 1.5 UF, 450 volt AC. No matter how many voltage, we don't care about the voltage, we care about this UF. So we discharge, and no plus and minus, so you can put either one side red or one side black. So how much the value I get? 1.39. So 1.39 is 1.5 UF. If 1.5 UF, 1.39 is plus or minus 5%. Also, this is still good condition, but this is already less. This is already the old capacitor. And here another one, 1.5 UF also. This also fan capacitor. Here, how much the value I get is 1.48 UF. This is new capacitor. This is considered new. This is still very good. This is already old capacitor. So if you want to replace, you want to change it, you should change this value, because this is much more closer to 1.5. So there are many types of capacitor, but you have to make sure that your multimeter can test up to how many microfarad. So that's very important. So as I mentioned, some of digital multimeter cannot test capacitor. So this is very quick. And if you don't have digital multimeter, you still can use analog multimeter. So this is an analog multimeter, and the analog multimeter you cannot read the value of capacitor, but you still at least you can check your capacitor is totally out, totally damaged. Your capacitor is totally cannot use, or you still can use capacitor. The value is 1000 UF, 220 UF. More high value, you should select to times 10 for connectivity. So a good condition of capacitor is should be very fast. So that means that capacitor is still in a good condition. So before you test, you have to discharge short two pins together, and because of this capacitor is high value means 1000 UF, more than 10 UF, you have to select to times 10k. No, sorry, times 10 over here, multiplier. So this red is negative side here, black is this side. So I'm gonna test. So we can see here it's one time. We're gonna do only for one time. If you repeat again, will come only for a little bit. So to be make sure, you have to discharge first, and negative side we use the red lead. So this will come first. That means the capacitor is good condition. So another one, this is negative side. So we see here, I will have to discharge. So this is good condition, and this is AC capacitor, and the value is just 1.5 UF. So 1.5 UF, if you show first, if you test in this position, you will not read in. You cannot test in this position. You must go to at least 100 here. Let's try. So now feeling. So nothing is smooth. No moving. So we must go to at least 100 here. Then we short this charge. So still we move just a little bit because of the UF, the value is very low. So we must go to, we can go to times 1K here. So we got. So this is good condition, and we go to this one. So still working. So if you want to test a low value of capacitor with analog multimeter, you have to select to times 1K or times 10K, and high value like 100 UF, 1000 UF, you have to select to times 10 ohm. So this is how quick testing for capacitor with a multimeter. We just can check either this capacitor is still working or not working, still good or not good, or we can check, but we cannot know how many the value. So the best thing is your capacitor tester. Either you use capacitor tester or you use digital multimeter, which can test capacitor. So I hope this video will help for those who want to know how to test capacitor with multimeter, and thank you for watching.